Welcome to this wonderful platform. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across this channel for the first time, you are welcome. Please, if you like what you see here, after watching, subscribe, put on your notification bell. It's very, very important because it's going to help you to know when I upload a new video. In this channel, I present to you news on daily basis on what is happening in the whole world, especially in Nigeria and in Biafran land. Yes, I'm Mother Biafra. I bring to you Biafran news. So before I do that, what I always do is that I analyze it and I sit down there to watch the video together with you. Then we'll come to the comment section to talk about it. Of course, everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. That is why the comment section is there for you to contribute, leave your ideas, your thoughts, your belief about the videos that you have watched. Please, as we are doing this, let us do it constructively. As we hop into today's video, remain blessed. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your massive support in this channel as we watch.
A human rights activist, and you can also call he is the author of the popular "Do Not Die in Their War." You know that book is daily farrow. Let's not long thing, and all of you, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this session. So today we just simply want to audit Nigeria so far, 61 years after. And then we are going to be doing this live with Barrister Daily Farrow. You're welcome on the show, sir. How are you today?
Well, the one thing I'm not is independent as a Nigerian. And the second thing I am not is happy as a Nigerian. So that's your happy independence thing that you started with, even though we were not live at that time. I must respond. Please, don't put your hand in my mouth. I'll bite. There is nothing happy about being a Nigerian, and there is nothing independent about Nigeria. So please, it's just another day. There is nothing to celebrate about the birth of this country, especially along its inequitable foundations. So good morning to you as well.
All right. So you're welcome. And then talking about Nigeria, nothing to be happy about and the rest of it. But I would like to say that sometimes a lot of people still feel, well, at all, Nigeria is not yet Somalia, Nigeria is not yet Afghanistan, that at least we should still have things to thank God for. If you will appraise Nigeria, we can't entirely say everything is totally bad, like some people will theorize. And so I would want to ask if you would give credit to something at least, what would it be to say, okay, at least for this and this, we still have a cause to say, okay, doxology.
You see, I had to restrain myself so that I didn't break into your stream of consciousness as you were asking the question. You know, my grandmother, may God bless her, she used to say when I was growing up, she said, I lojuti ni bere gbogbo burúkú tó wà nílé ayé. That means an incapacity for shame. Shamelessness is the root and foundation of all evils in this world. The Nigerian has no shame. Me, you, all of us, we are actually completely shameless. If we were not shameless, we wouldn't need anyone to let us know that we should be in mourning. We are a collection of shameless people. It's not just the rulers, the followers, all of us. We're shameless. First, the white man came to these shores. The Arabs came to the sandy dunes. And then they held us all captives by their ideologies. And then they left us, and we're celebrating that the British left 61 years ago. What have we done with it? I've heard people say that perhaps the British should come back and recolonize us, and I wince. I look at the idiots who call themselves our rulers. They are not even consumed by any vision to want to build. Look at King or whatever they call that short one in North Korea. As crazy as you might think his generations to be, they built infrastructures for their people. Yes, they've curtailed the freedom of their people, but aren't our own freedoms already curtailed? Haven't we been constrained for 61 years? Or at least since 66? Why is it that none of them have been touched by the genius of insanity to want to build the country with the best infrastructure in Africa? What is the difference between Nigeria and Dubai? Vision. One man's vision transformed a country and then transformed an entire region to the point where the Gulf Arab states are today the nucleus of the Arab Spring. It's true rebirth and regeneration. What have we contributed to humanity? 61 years of what? What are we celebrating? And right now, we are being led by idiots. Did I say lead? We're not being led. We're being misled by idiots who are in a race to go back to antiquity. What exactly are we celebrating? I'm a father of 3 children. My greatest pain would be to die leaving my children in this country based on its current trajectories. Muhammadu Buhari is racing back to prehistoric time. He wants to take us to Kabul. The idiots in the ruling class, or shall I say the ruining class, they are busy following him like lemmings. The people who are being ruined themselves, what are we doing? We are busy speaking inanities. What are you comparing us with before you decide whether we have failed or whether we have succeeded? We're the best in terms of human resources. You see, let a single Nigerian be in an airport terminal with over 200 other people. Let there be about 20 other black people there. You know the one that is Nigerian amongst the blacks because he's the one that is standing tallest. What do you think it is about Yele Sowore that pisses off our rulers? I'll tell you today. He doesn't know how to look like a slave. He doesn't know how to bow like a slave. That is what it is about him that pisses them off. And that is what it is about the essence of the Nigerian that separates us from every other black person. We don't know how to be slaves. We keep our head high. That is what differentiates us even when we are immigrants outside Nigeria. We distinguish ourselves because it's innate in us, it's inside of us. But what have we done with it? We've led in what? In consumption, consuming. We drink the most wine. What have we led with it? What have we done? We've been an abject, complete, and total failure up till this point. And we have even consumed the future if we are not careful. So please.
I understand, sir, but in summary, there is actually nothing we can appraise other than just a lot of things to correct.
You're just going to be looking at degrees of failure. What have we done right? Is it education? What have we done right? Is it governance? Is it security? What? Everything that the government touches, it destroys. The only part of Nigeria that functions properly are those 4 parts that have managed to drag themselves outside the reach of governance. That is why you find that youth entrepreneurs who are mostly based on online, on the internet, they are unrestrained by the interference of Nigerian government, which appears intent on ensuring that people are poor, not just materially, but intellectually. So when you now have people who have broken the boundaries because they are able to live in the global village because they are online, you find them doing much better. You find that the same ingenuity is sometimes misapplied, and then you find the likes of Invictus and our brother Hush. But for every Hush, there is a Kiari. So let's be clear about something. The way this country is going, if we don't find our voices and clearly identify what it is that is in our own best interest, there is going to be an implosion eventually. You cannot rule a vibrant young population with antediluvian ideas. You cannot be looking for cattle routes in a generation where some people are already thinking of excursion to Mars. You can't, who's talking cattle route? It gives you an idea of the schizophrenia that is worrying Nigeria. This identity crisis where an 80-something-year-old man is ruling the country with visions dating. I'm not even sure that man knows how to use the internet beyond watching Tom and Jerry. And he's not alone. The bulk of the people sat in that executive council. What do they understand? Not forget the federal government. Go down to the states themselves. What is the quality of brain ruling in those places? Who are they ruling for? What are the ideas? What are the overarching visions behind which they are mobilizing the people? What are the ideas? Ideas rule nations. Ideas. What are the ideas behind which they are galvanizing the people? There is one idiot, I think that one in Akwa Ibom or wherever, the one that said Mesopotamia nonsense, the idiot that
Cross
had
River,
Agbajalingo.
Calabar.
Yeah, that one that had Agbajalingo in chains the other time.
Ben Ayade.
That idiot actually said he wasn't taxing people, these people. Why would he tax them when he hasn't given them what he should give them? He's not constrained by any vision. How can a governor say he's not taxing? But when they know that the persons they have taxed, they have offered no services. So it becomes the legitimacy of the state, its capacity to demand the tax, is found on its ability to deliver services. When the tax becomes a toll, when it becomes punitive in the sense that you are not servicing the person's interest, the average Nigerian, and I mean at least 90% of those who live in the rural, in the urban areas, particularly in the south, they're paying school fees. The public school system, where it is not completely collapsed, is inadequate. So they're paying school fees that our parents' generation did not pay. Healthcare, same. Transport, same. Everything down. And then you ask yourself, exactly what are we passing on to the next generation? So please, insofar as it relates to any measurement, any Nigerian with half a brain should just go and anoint their heads with hash and then sit down in the privacy of their rooms. If you don't have a room, grab your communal toilet, sit down there so that you have some privacy, and then ask yourself, think beyond your immediate hunger. Just think beyond your immediate hunger and then ask yourself, where would this country be in 5 years' time at our current trajectory? See those rails that they are busy screeching and congratulating themselves that they are building. They have picked loans that my children and your children will pay. They are building crap, antiquated technology that is no longer in use in any sane place. And my children would have to pay for lines that goes nowhere that anybody goes. Maradi in Niger. And I'm supposed to be clapping for the idiot. Not just him, all the other ones that surround him. Because it's not just about Buhari, it's a system. It's not only the federal government. There are 36 emirs. So when you look at all of these, in fact, you've caught me at a bad time. I was already in a funk before this started. But the question you've asked, how do I grade Nigeria? We should be in mourning. That's my answer. Perhaps it's even symbolic. I'm still wearing my black jalawear, so it's good. We should be in mourning. Mourning I see somebody commenting, their children are graduating from UK and from US. Sorry that I'm digressing.
It's okay.
See, you see, the tragedy of these idiots who rule us is that they don't learn anything. They are fools. That Floyd, that one that they killed in Minnesota, yeah. Generations after his ancestors were taken as tourists, quote and unquote, to America. His placenta buried in America. His father's placenta buried in America. His mother's too. The Americans don't see him as human. He couldn't breathe. Yeah, we saw it all on video. Don't worry about the ones whose videos you never see. So these idiots, they are stealing our money, keeping their children abroad, and they think that because they've bought passports all over the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, they're busy buying passports, buying nationality and citizenship. They think that will render their children immune from what happened to Floyd. It won't happen. They will pay. They will pay. That is just a fact. So yeah, they can go ahead and be buying passports, sending their children to schools abroad, buying homes on the Potomac or wherever they care. 20 years down from now, let history.
They won't be able to breathe.
Oh no, they won't breathe. The ones that won't breathe, the ones that will be chased down an alleyway, is just another black man. This is the only place where we are human. So if they destroy the only place where we are human, we'll see what history will say about all of us. So
Okay, so some have said that the retirement age is 60, Nigeria is 61, and that because things are actually not even working, so why not let's retire Nigeria and probably just come up with something new. As a result, some have said, okay, like you have also diagnosed leadership failure. Like, how about we change the system completely? Kick out. That is one suggestion. Say, okay, we change the system that has failed and the leaders daring. Others say, no, it's completely even expired altogether. Why not let's just break the country and reverse it back to what it used to be before the colonialists came to merge us together? And all of these have sounded, plausible in their own ways. What would you suggest? I mean, going forward?
in the first place, nobody who has a vision, nobody with vision retires at 60. Just to clear that up for all of us. I retired from being a lawyer when I was 50. But I didn't retire to be sleeping in my house. I retired to be doing what I'm doing with you right now. If I was still a lawyer, servicing clients who are afraid of what government might do to their businesses, I won't be able to do this. So I retired from being a lawyer to being a full-time troublemaker. That's one. Nigeria might be 60, but it's 60 at what, really?
61 now.
No, 61 at what? You can't call it 61 years old, because what is Nigeria? The idea, what is Nigeria itself? Nigeria is a stillbirth. It hasn't done anything but constrain. Look at the earlier analogy I gave you. When the Black Americans became constrained within the American space, they started finding outlets in sport and entertainment. When the Nigerian became constrained by the Nigerian state, he started finding outlets in sport and entertainment and in all those other things that can be done outside of the control of the system. So entertainment, internet. So you find that the Nigerian system is designed to constrain. So when you're talking about Nigeria as 61, what is actually 61 years old? What is 61 years old is a mistake. There's a 61-year-old mistake. Oh, no, that would be unfair. Let me say there's a 61-year-old idea that has been on the wrong track for, I think, the last 56 or thereabout now, since 1966. Yeah, since 1966, that country, that idea that was formulated and crystallized on the 1st of October was lost. It became lost in January 1966. It became irretrievably damaged by July, because what was lost were 4 regions of a federation. 4 regions of a federation. What do we have today? 36 feeding centers in a feudalized democracy. So what we started out with is different from what we have today. So when you talk about it as being 61 years old, it is important that you all understand very quickly that what is 61 years old is an idea. What we have right now is not what we started out with. What we have right now is a lie. It calls itself the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but there is nothing federal about it. The VAT argument should bring that home to you. The reactions, and then you can hear the idiocy being spewed out of Arewa House. Nobody used to care, really, the way Nigeria was structured. It didn't matter to the regions who was in possession of the federal government. The key thing, the key powers were in the regions. But under the military restructuring of Nigeria between 1966 and 1999, which produced Decree 24, which you call the 1999 Constitution, Nigeria has been restructured without consultation with any of the ethnic nationalities or the people themselves. And today you have 36 states. Those states are not regions, and they are certain, and we are certainly not a federation. We are not even a unitary system, because under the British unitary system, you have devolution of power to the Scottish Assembly. The Scottish people continue to demand referendums to separate completely from the United Kingdom. You have devolution of power to the Welsh Assembly. You have situations where the mayor of Manchester could look Boris Johnson in the eye and tell him that he wasn't going to obey the local, the general curfew, because the situation in Manchester wasn't as bad as it was in London. That is the extent of devolution within the British unitary system. Can you imagine the governor of Lagos State defying another from inside the rock of Aso? And this is not about Buhari, it's about whoever is in that inside that rock. So what we have today is no longer a federation. We just have a feudalized democracy where the governors are not unlike emirs, the president is not unlike the sultan. And they are that far removed from the people who purportedly elected them. That is why you find that the House of Reps people, the senators, the governors, House of Assembly, they all live far away from the people. And I warrant that every member of each and every one of the different houses of assembly upward, including the chairmen of local government councils, all 774 of them, if not all of their councillors too, they all hold passports of other countries. They don't serve you and I. So why are we fooling ourselves? So when you talk about 61 years of a major error, if you ask me, and until we retrace our steps back, the only way Nigeria can function without disintegration would be to return to its federalist roots, outside of its true federal roots. And that true federalism thing, please, I'm sorry, I don't want to help perpetuate that lie. There is nothing called true federalism. It's either federalism or it's not federalism. That true federalism allows people to hide a lie. So there is nothing called true federalism. We're either going to return to our federalist roots, where each region is allowed to develop at its own pace, compete healthily with each other, perhaps with tweaks here and there to account for the reality of the fact that things have changed on several fronts. Other than that, we waste our times. Other than that, we waste our time. Eventually, that's where we'll get to. It might take 20 years, might take 30. Several wars might have been fought. But the one thing that is clear is that this system will not endure. It's not possible. It constrains. It constrains.
So to be direct, would you endorse the call for expiration of that, those who say end Nigeria now and let us all start new nations altogether, new ethnic nations? Or would you still say there is hope?
I am a man who a lot of people find very difficult to understand. So they try and put me in their own pigeonholes so that I might fit into the idea of who I should be and what I should be or what I should be saying. All these people calling for separation of Nigeria, you will find very quickly that when the two of us sit down, we have no disagreement whatsoever. Everybody calling for one thing or the other related to Nigeria is doing so because Nigeria is not working for them. The only people who are playing politics with let's break up Nigeria and Nigeria is not working, they are the beneficiaries. And those beneficiaries, people might like to let you think that it's only the Fulani that are the beneficiaries. They are lying. The ruling class across the length and breadth of Nigeria are beneficiaries of the current system. None of them wants it to end. They might not like the way they are sharing the loot currently, and they might complain and moan and then pretend like they agree. But the truth is that amongst themselves, they have no substantive quarrel. So here is what I'll say to you. We've all agreed that there are problems, and we've also all agreed that something has to give. That is the point where the divergences now begins. Some people are of the opinion that you should just break Nigeria up and have new ethnic nationalities come out of them. That is a viewpoint, and I respect it. But I have a different opinion, and my own opinions are simple. I believe that even if you broke Nigeria into 100 ethnic nationalities, if you do not anchor those nations on the rule of law and the equality of citizenship and the primacy of citizenship, you will never build the desired nations. So I figure that, look, if you follow our history, if you take time to read our history, you will know that these same arguments we're having today, they were had in the lead up to our independence. And I recall that, reading my own history, I recall that in 1951 Constitution was truncated essentially by the Federalist demands of the Awoist AG. What they then did was that I believe they boycotted the federal parliament to the point where the government had no choice but to come with the 1954 Constitution, where they now all agree that, look, let each region, this was the beginning of the federalist route of the Nigerian state at independence. They recognize that, look, maybe we in the South are demanding independence too soon. So instead of going at the same, dragging everybody to come at the same pace, because the first demand for secession in Nigeria was by Ahmadu Bello. He was ready to leave. I believe that was after the motion for independence was killed by the northern side and they were booed out of Lagos. He says, Areba, they wanted to leave. The middle ground position, because somebody like Azikiwe was a committed unitarist. He wanted a single Nigeria ruled from a strong center, which the Hausa Fulani did not want. Don't let me perpetuate that fraud.
YouTube channel.
You are welcome. Now that we have finished watching this video together, you saw me sitting there watching it together with you. I appreciate you. Let's go to the comment section to talk about it. If it is your first time, subscribe, put on your notification bell. That notification bell is very, very important because